oh, this sucks, like I'm not doing this.
Hi loves, my name is Nia. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. If you like it, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you all for coming back. So today's video was inspired by one of my favorite Instagrammers. I found her on Instagram and I will just plop her Instagram below. Her Instagram name is Ronnie, and I don't know how to pronounce her YouTube name, but I saw her make this YouTube video and I will drop her YouTube video below. She has traditional locks, very beautiful traditional locks. She's definitely, I think, like in the teenage or baby stage of her lock journey. They're still kind of like forming, but her locks are absolutely beautiful. Go check her out. So this video is my 5 biggest lock mistakes and how you all can avoid them. Like I said, I was inspired by her video, but we definitely have different lock mistakes. And so I think it would be beneficial to watch both videos so that you can get a feel from different things that you maybe need to look out for before you get your locks or once you're in your lock journey. So number 1 for me was doing too many styles on my baby locks. At the time, I was just really uncomfortable with how short my baby locks were. And so I knew that if I constantly did braid outs, twist outs, different things like that, and I even once like stretched them out into like the blow dryer. I know I was doing the most, but I was really uncomfortable with how short they were. And so in the beginning stages, I did like braid outs and twist outs a lot. There's nothing wrong at all with doing braid outs or twist outs in the early stages. But what I did is I did it so much that I prevented my hair, or I delayed the locking process because I was constantly stretching my hair out and not giving it enough time to shrink up and form into the lock. That's part of the process. A lot of times people, when they get their locks, their hair is longer and then it shrinks. I had somebody tell me the other day, they're like, oh, I just got my locks and they're already like pretty much your length. I wanted to tell them, like, when I got my locks too, they were pretty much this length. Well, no, they weren't pretty much this length, but like when they were stretched out, and like I had like the loose hair at the end, if I stretched them, they hit here. But now if I stretch my locks, they go to about my armpits. So my hair is definitely longer than whenever I started, but in the very, very beginning, they visually looked a lot longer than how they looked once I got to the teenage stage. And I'll insert some pictures of my teenage stage where it was like, whew. So like I started off by having like hair that was like maybe right here, and then like, it shrunk to like right up to my chin. And so I was really uncomfortable with that, so I did a lot of stretched out styling. And I think the one way that you all could avoid this is just to learn to love your baby locks and learn to love short styles. Once I kind of got towards the teenage stage, I found ways to like style my hair that I still liked. And I do have a video below about tips to enjoy your baby loc stage. That video was a little rough. That was one of my first ones, but I do think that there's still some good information in it as well. But one of the other tips that I put in that video that I'm going to also include in this video that I think is really important is when you're in the baby loc stage, follow others in the baby loc stage. If you are always looking at people with mature locks or super long locks, even just following people in the baby loc stage who have a similar length of locks as you is really can really help. I am going to try to find some of my favorite YouTubers in the baby loc stage, and I will link them below. I'll try to find people with different types of locks and link them below so that you guys could check them out. But yep, that was my first lock mistake, is just not giving my hair time to breathe and doing too many styles in the beginning. The second one, and I have a photo for this, is allowing people to retighten my hair too tight. Now, I am showing a picture of when I got my hair retightened by a loctician. I've had multiple locticians, one certified loctician, and then a few other non-certified locticians that I went to. Now, this was one of the locticians that was not certified in sister locks, but they did do interlocks all the time. And so she retightened my hair so much that there was a cut in my head, and you can see that there is a little bit of blood. Now, this was after my hair had been done for a while, when it was fresh, like the little pink, like the little cut was even redder, and like it kind of like started to draw a teensy, like it wasn't like dripping, like I wasn't dripping with blood, not that dramatic, but there was a teensy bit of red blood. And I'm still kind of concerned about that area, because if there's one area of my hair that I think maybe is a little bit thinner than others, it is that one area where that was stretched so tight. And when I was getting my hair done, I was thinking to myself, I know that this is too tight. I know that this is too tight, but I didn't say anything. I think that allowing that person to retighten the hair so tight thinned out certain locks in different spaces. And yeah. So that's another one of my loc regrets. If you have any reservations when somebody is doing your hair, I highly suggest you speak up. Even though they are the professionals, you know what you're feeling on your head. And so at the time when I was getting my locks retightened, I felt like it was really tight. Like it hurt like freaking heck. I was like, goodness gracious. So I kind of had a feeling, and then when I came out the chair, and then when I got home and I saw that, I was like, okay, you knew, Nia. You should have spoke up. So that is my second biggest mistake. Yep, I just didn't advocate for myself. My third is not getting larger locks, and you all know this. I definitely have talked about wanting larger locks before. I don't know if any of you all know of Josette, or her name on YouTube used to be Locks of Love. Her first set of locks are probably the size that I would want. But you know what? I don't hear too many people on this platform in the lock community who don't say they wish they either had like thinner or thicker locks. So I think the best way to avoid like lock envy or wanting your locks to be a different size is to, one, make sure that you research and look up all the different types of locks before you get your hair done. Look up multiple different types of locks, and also I would say create a mood board and just look up the different types of locks. Now, when I went back to my Pinterest and I was looking at the different locks on that Pinterest mood board, I noticed that the vast majority of the locks that I pinned were about the size of Josette's. They were probably about they were maybe about 3 of my locks. Yeah, probably about 3 of my locks. So I didn't do my research that well whenever I got my locks done. What I did essentially is I wasn't looking too much at the variations in small locks. I was just seeing small locks and grouping them all into sister locks. Like when I was watching Josette back in the day, I thought she had sister locks. I was like, oh, I love that, sister locks. I love this person, sister locks. But a lot of people did not have sister locks. And so I wish I would have did more research into that. A lot of you all have DM'd me or wrote in my comment section, like, do you have sister locks? Do you have micro locks? What are those? And I wish I would have did that, because then I would have made different choices. But long story short, do your research. Create some mood boards, see what you're drawn to, but then once you're set in your locks, just learn to love your locks. Your locks they are what they are. Most people have considered, wanting bigger locks or smaller locks. It is what it is. Number 4, my 4th biggest regret is not learning how to retighten my own locks sooner. I have had quite the journey when it comes to retightening my own locks. First, I will say I do think that the loctician that I went to previously definitely deterred me from learning how to retighten my own hair. There was a time that I came to her and I said, hey, I retightened like 3 locks over here. And I wasn't wanting her to be like, oh, you did it that way. Now let me break out my sister locks tool and show you the official way how to do it. I wasn't wanting that. I was just like, look at these, like, do you think they look healthy? And she just immediately, she was like, you don't need to do that anymore. You need to take the such and such class and yada, yada, yada. And I was just really apprehensive about taking that class. It's very expensive, and there is so much content on YouTube showing people how to interlock. And I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, did not believe that it was very much difference, just like worlds of a difference between how people typically interlock hair. I'm like, it's still hair. So in my mind, I was thinking, it's probably going to be the same as these other individuals on YouTube interlocking their hair. I'm not going to take that class. But I made a couple mistakes early on. It really diminished my confidence. And I was like, oh, she was right. I can't do this. I need to I need to take that class. And so then I became more dependent upon her, and then more dependent upon other locticians, and I just felt like I couldn't do it until this past March, and there was no way I could go to get my hair done. That just was not an option. And I kind of like messed around with doing my hair in the past, but I had never really committed to like fully retightening the whole head. And now that I've been doing this since March, I can't see myself ever going back to a loctician full time. I could just see myself going in like every 6 months or so for like maintenance and just, checking me out, seeing how I'm doing. But I love the freedom of being able to do my own hair. I feel like I love my hair more, and it just really, it feels more like the hair freedom that I was wanting. Does it take forever? It takes forever in a freaking day. But I am so happy that I can do it. I remember breaking down and just like one day, like honestly having a whole mental breakdown about me not being able to I combined two locks. And I was just like, oh no, this sucks. Like, I'm not doing this. And that was, I think, maybe 2 years ago. And now I'm just like so chill doing it. I've only combined like 4 locks. So I have two-headed dragons. But other than that, everything's pretty much gone fairly smoothly. And I love the freedom that doing my own locks bring. All right. And my 5th and final mistake, it is actually the same as Ronnie, who I told you about earlier. And actually, I have told you guys this in my description box, or not my description box, in the comment section and on Instagram before. Or my biggest regret is not starting my locks sooner. I started thinking about locks probably about 1.5 years, 2 years before I got them. I hadn't seen sister locks yet, but I was considering getting traditional locks, smaller ones, and I definitely wish I would have did it because I was fed up, honestly, with my natural hair. After about 1.5 years, it was just, I did all the styles that I wanted to do. I feel like I got it to a point where it was, it was really healthy, as healthy as it could be. And I just wasn't having as much fun with my hair anymore, and I just wasn't feeling it. And so I just wish that I would have started my locks a lot sooner. I think about like how long they would be, and I'd probably be a lot more efficient with retightening and just things like that. So that is my biggest regret. And so if you have any apprehensions towards getting locks, let me know. Maybe I could talk to you about them. Some of my biggest ones was that I wasn't gonna like them, and then I'd be stuck with them. And I absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. I guess if you're nervous about getting them and then hating them, there's always, taking them out. Now with sister locks, that would be, I think I'd much rather cut my hair before I take out 400 and something locks. But there is options if you absolutely hate them. But I love them. And I haven't heard too many people who have gotten their hair done and they've had their locks in for at least 3 years. And they're just like, there's nothing I like about them. I hear a lot of people talking about wishing they had different sizes or different parting or, things like that. But not saying that they absolutely hate everything about their locks. So I was apprehensive about it. But I definitely, looking back at it, wish that I would have started at least 1.5 years sooner. So yeah, that is it. Those are my biggest regrets when it comes to my locks. If you have locks, do you have any regrets? Yeah, I love my locks. I don't have too many regrets. I'm definitely planning on keeping them for the indefinite future. I know most people in their lock regret videos, I've seen not only Ronnie's, I've seen a couple, but hers was my one that I saw most recently. Most people talk about coloring their hair as being a regret. I don't regret that at all. I'll do another video on coloring coming up pretty soon because I'm actually going to re-dye my hair. But I just wanted to make sure I did mention that because that's a major thing that people talk to me about is, do I regret, putting the bleach on my hair and stuff like that? No regrets. YOLO. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you all. Maybe I will do a video with 5 things that others regret in their lock journey that I don't. Right there off the bat, coloring my hair will be one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace and blessings, guys. Bye.